Pret started in London in 1986. So it was founded by two university friends, Julian Metcalf and Sinclair Beecham. And this gives you a sense of our footprint. As I said, we'll probably have about 750 stores by the end of this year. Our largest market is the UK, where we have just shy of 500 locations. Our second largest market is the US. I have to say our fastest growing market at the moment is India. We opened our first store in India in April last year, and we have 20 locations in India right now. A few snapshots of Pret. As I can say, 699 stores. We're opening our 700th store actually tomorrow. 56% of our workforce are female. I'm very proud to say that 2/3 of my executive team are female. We have people in the executive team from ethnic minorities, from the LGBTQ+, and also that there is no gender pay gap in Pret as well. You'll see here as well, we've got 13,500 employees, and that is growing at pace. Probably got about 4,000 of those employees now working with our franchise partners and the rest within our own business. We have our charity that is called the Pret Foundation. And really the premise of that is how we try to alleviate homelessness within the communities that we work with.
How would you describe, and you've mentioned things like be kind, be honest, be generous. Talk to me about Pret working culture.
When we recruit people, they have a day's what we call a Pret experience. And at the end of the day, we will give it to a vote to the team to say whether they've got the job or not. So it's not actually the manager, it's the team. And actually that individual is told beforehand that you have an experience, you're engaged with different people in the team.
It's like an audition, kind of.
In essence, yes.
Wow, interesting.
And I'm a big believer, and I think I'm a function of that in Pret, actually, it doesn't really matter what you look like, what your background is, etc. If you work hard and do a job, you will generally get noticed. We have what we call the Pret Academy, so we have a training centre that is continually evolving and delivering materials, courses, schemes, programs, etc.
It's a physical place, is it?
It's a physical place.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, we have training academies all over the world, actually. So we have about 7 across the world. So there's a number of things that we do. We have fast-track programs, we have graduate programs. So there's a number of things that we do to continue to develop people. But actually, I think one of the things that makes it so prominent is because of our growth. You have to, you have to continue to educate people, to teach people, and to upskill people as you're growing. We ensure that we make our managers aware of, teach them, coach them to be leaders that are inspirational, that are authentic, and that can ensure they have the right environment. Because the thing is, if you've not got a great environment, say in a store, generally the service is not going to be great.
Yeah.
The performance of the store is not going to be great. These managers are heavily incentivized through bonus schemes as well. So having the right environment, it just has a natural impetus towards customers, the product that we, sell every day. Pret's purpose and Pret's values. So as you can see on the screen, our purpose, and for us, we exist to make every day a little bit brighter. And what we mean by that is many times people don't have much time on their hands. They come into Pret and are often in Pret for 2 or 3 minutes before picking a sandwich up and coming out. And really for us is how can we take the opportunity to engage with those customers and give them those great moments when they come in. And by how do we do that? Generously spreading joy. And that means to us, joy to our customers for when they consume a sandwich, joy to our customers for when they are engaging with our staff, and actually how we try and take time to invest and look after our people and give them the essence of the joy. And again, food with thought. People often say to me, what do I mean by food with thought? You can't customize a Pret sandwich. And really the reason you can't customize a Pret sandwich is because we have chefs and food developers that work behind the scenes, sometimes 9 months before launching a product, and taking the time intricately to ensure we've got the right amount of mayonnaise, the right amount of protein to ensure that we've got the great product that you have today. The great thing about CEO, you can make a difference. Twice a year, every single person from our head offices work in a Pret store. So I have a store that I go to twice a year as a minimum. I'll wake up at 4:35 in the morning. I'll put my kind of Pret uniform on. I'll be in the kitchen making sandwiches. I'll go upstairs and serve customers and coffees during lunchtime. But that day, I spend 8 hours there, and I get so much from it. I learn so much from it as well.
Yeah, interesting.
And I generally come back to the office with a list of things. We need to do this differently. This is making their life difficult. How can we change this? How can we make this better? So I think that, for anyone, I think that are taking more senior roles and becoming executives, how can you create an environment that people feel comfortable to speak to you? We have our values. So as you can see there, we would call them the hand. So happy teams, happy customers, amazing standards every day, never standing still and doing the right thing. It's important to be yourself, to be authentic and to be humble. I'm very clear what I'm good at and what I'm not so good at, and try to develop teams around me that cover my blind spots.
Okay.
And I think that in some instances, leaders or CEOs can sometimes think they have to have the answer to everything.
Yeah.
And that is something I think could take you up the wrong path. And I think what I continue to create with the teams that I lead is an encouragement of openness. Tell me when you think I've done something wrong. Tell me if you have a different opinion to me. And I'd much prefer my team to tell that to me than my board or the owners. So you'd probably think to yourself, why have we put happy teams, happy customers in that order? Surely the customer is always the first thing you look at. And clearly customers are very important for us. But we deliberately take the opportunity to put our teams first. We believe that if we look after our teams, if our teams feel great, they're going to deliver great customer service for our customers. So having happy teams, which is hugely important for us, means that they will generate great service to their customers and take the care that is needed when it comes to making the sandwiches and the salads and the baguettes and the coffees that you have when you come into Pret.
As a leader, I heard a rumour that there's a rule for the board that says never walk past a Pret. Is that true? And if so, when you go in, what do you ask the store manager or team?
That is true.
Oh, so if you see a Pret, you must go in it.
I always pop into a Pret, and even if it's just to say hi, how are you doing? 3 things I always look at when I go into a Pret shop. The first thing I look at is the food, the availability of the food.
Yeah.
We've got a good availability of food. The food looks beautiful and really positioned, almost like little soldiers.
It is always very neatly stacked in a Pret.
Yes. So you'll sometimes see me walking into a Pret shop and the cans of Cokes, I'll be twisting them to ensure the Coca-Colas all facing the same way. The other thing is looking at cleanliness in the store. And the last thing, which for me is one of the most important thing, is the team. You can tell a lot about how a store's run by how the team look. Are they smiling? Are they making eye contact with the customers? Do they seem like they're enjoying themselves? They're moving on to amazing standards every day, and for us this really means that we are focused and obsessed with having great standards and great consistency. And I think brands are built on consistency. So for us this is a big part around ensuring that we've execute on our standards, do the right things by our people, and also doing the right thing by our customers.
You're very chill. You're very calm in your demeanour. Have you always been that way? Is it a learned thing? Because this is obviously it's not a low stress job being a CEO in any business.
My predecessor said to me when I took over from him, as CEO, you have to take the stress in and assume serenity, and give that real sense of calmness outwards. And I think that I can say if I'm under stress, then my teams are going to be under stress. I generally get up about 4:35 a.m. in the morning without an alarm clock 7 days a week. Don't ask me how that happens when it happens. So I have the first 3 to 4 hours of the day on my own. I don't start any meetings till 9 or 9:30.
Okay.
So I'll have an hour or so in the morning reading papers, watching the news, an hour or so exercise. I used to bike to work, but now I walk to work, which is another hour.
Okay.
And again, I just feel that having those 3 to 4 hours in the morning on my own just to reflect kind of just sets me up for the day. Moving on to the third one, never standing still. And really this is all about how we continue to do things differently, to continue to challenge ourselves and to innovate. I think you would have heard Adrian talk earlier about Pret becoming more of a franchise-led business, which is a new thing that we've been focusing on over the last couple of years, and really having to pivot the brand to what I would call an operational business, is almost to a brand service. Those franchise partners that we're working with, ensuring that they are looked after as customers as well. When you decide to become a franchise business, and I think many people do it far too soon, and you need to take time to ensure that the brand has a good, strong blueprint that you can hand over to people. What we have to do when we bring a franchisee in, probably takes us about 2 to 3 years to find the right franchise partner.
Wow.
And we spend a lot of time, and we say no to, I'd probably say, 99 in every 100 people that reach out to us.
Talk to us about how you operationally make sure that all those stores are delivering. You said how important your store managers are, but you've got mystery shoppers who go in and eat sandwiches too.
We do.
Just how does that all look? Because you're very serious about maintaining those service quality.
Well, I'd say we're obsessed about maintaining the service quality. So it is something that we look at all the time. We have a number of different metrics that look at how fast the average customer is served, to how long it takes for a customer to get their drink, to our mystery shopper schemes that you mentioned beforehand, that every single Pret shop in the world has a mystery shopper visit every single week. And again, the royalties that we take on from our franchise partners, our approach to royalties are very different to your traditional brands. So most would charge 6% of sales. So most of the multinational brands would say, okay, you can open a store. Every year we'll take 6% of the sales, which is kind of our licensee agreement. And our approach is slightly different. So we have a ratchet within our royalties. So at the top end, you'd pay 7.5%. At the lower end, you pay 4.5%. And the better you perform on your mystery shopper visits, on your operational visits, the lower the royalty.
Fascinating.
The poorer you perform, the higher the royalty, which at times can be hard for our, especially new franchise partners, to get their head around, because the first thing they think is, oh God, I'm going to pay 7.5% of sales, and that's higher than I'd usually pay. And I often say to them that there's nothing more I would like is for them to be paying the lowest royalty, because then I know they are looking after our brand. And actually, if they're paying a 7.5% royalty, they're probably not doing a very good job.
Yeah.
And I think if you look at last year, 93% of all our franchise partners paid the lower royalty. So that gives me a real good sense that actually they're doing something right. As businesses grow larger, it becomes harder to maintain that entrepreneurial spirit. And actually, what I absolutely love about our franchise partners, they are a bunch of entrepreneurs, in balance. And actually, what we're seeing now is we're bringing franchisees in. We are learning from their entrepreneurial spirit as well. I really truly believe we have an entrepreneurial spirit. I can remember talking to one of our founders, Sinclair Beach, and he said to me, companies often talk about sacred cows, and these are the things that you can't slay, and actually we would slay 10 sacred cows a day, because we knew that we needed to continue to change things and do things differently. And doing the right thing, and really for me, this is kind of deeply rooted in Pret. Doing the right thing by our people. We don't pay our people by their age. We pay them what we think they deserve. Most businesses in our industry will pay people a lower wage if they're 16. If for us, it doesn't matter whether you're 16 or 26, you'll get the same pay. Doing the right thing, ensuring that we are looking after our food waste, ensuring that those are going to close grassroots charities. Doing the right thing in regards to how we look after our suppliers and how closely we work with our suppliers as well. So again, this is something that is deeply ingrained within the brand. I actually think doing the right thing and being a conscious company becomes even more important the larger you grow. And yes, you have to balance that with the commercials and how you ensure that you're delivering on your numbers as you will. The impact that you can have on people's lives, for me, makes it all worthwhile. And I don't want to be with a business that is just there to make numbers every single year. And I say that to our franchise partners as well. If you want the Pret brand to be just an asset that you can use to grow and improve your bottom line every year, clearly that is an important thing, and that's it, you've not got a passion or an affinity for the brand or the product, then this is not the right brand for you to be investing in.